Hello and good morning to Virtual Coffee. It's Cheryl from the Growth Hub. How are we doing today? Those in Melbourne, how are we doing with lockdown? I hope you're all sort of surviving. I'll give a few minutes for people to join in the conversation. And today we are going to be talking about, sorry, that's my coffee there. I'm not sure if you can see that, my bulletproof coffee. Focus on the good. I love it. Have a bit of a sip. So we're going to be talking about how to have your business run almost on autopilot and the synergies and the power of having systems and a team in place to allow you to do that. All right, so I say hello everyone that's joining in. How are you doing? Let me just see where we are at here. People popping in. Here we are. There we go. Good morning, Sean. Right on time. Sick of masks. It pulls on the nerve on my jaw. Oh my goodness. Setting off my wisdom. Do you have to wear masks where you are too? That's a bit of a pain. It will all be over. Let's sort of keep our eye on the prize, which is it all going back to some level of normality, whatever that might be. So we're going to be talking about systems and team, and obviously as an outsourcing agency, a team is something that we obviously embrace, and having the benefit of a remote team in your business. However, without the systems in place, it really is like herding cats. And makes it very difficult for businesses to be able to scale. Enjoying the break from day job though. Yes, let's see. There's always the positives in things, aren't there? Um, so how do we look at, all of us go into business wanting that level of freedom, and so often the reality is that we start our businesses, we sort of go, okay, this is our business. I have this skill and I want to be able to help people. And this is the outcome. So we've got lots of buyers agents, property consultants, coaching businesses, so on. So you've got this skill to be able to help people, and in between you're speaking to people, they sort of buy into, there's a sales process, they buy into what you're offering, and then you sort of it's the delivery, it's the execution, and then it sort of goes in a bit of a circle. So that's sort of what we think business is on its high level. But the reality is that there's so many facets that fall behind it that really make it run like a well-oiled machine. And the ultimate goal for a lot of people is that we're not really looking to build ourselves a job. Right, we want to build businesses to build some level of scalability that it grows, and at some point it allows us that level of freedom that we're that we're seeking, whether it's time freedom, whether it's financial freedom. So if anyone that's out here that's listening, I'd love for you to leave in the comments and tell me what's the main reason that you're either looking to start a business or that you started a business. What is the main reason that you've done? I love to hear. And Sean reminds me to check the oil in the car. Well, or the machine. I'm glad I'm here to assist you with reminders. And that will be 50 cents. Thank you. So the reason why, I'll share my reason, the reason why I went into business was, one, definitely the freedom to take control of my own life, and spend the time that I wanted doing the things that I love. And whether that's spending time with my family or spending time making a difference to other people. I love my children. I don't necessarily need to spend 24 hours in a day with them. A brief 4 hours after school is often plenty. and then I say, "Good, it's bedtime." Um, but I love the time that I'm with them, and particularly the time that I'm totally present with them. So the weekends are fabulous because I literally um, almost sort of switch off from work. I still think about work because I love what I do, but I get to be able to spend time with them. Um, and so I love that business allows me to do that, particularly also to be able to work around my family. So I do the drop offs and I do the pickups as well. But the freedom to be able to earn as much as you want. So a lot of people love that idea of saying, I don't have anyone to dictate that you're going to get a certain wage, whether it's 50,000, 100,000 to 500,000, $1 million. And if you're happy with $1 million or 500,000, it doesn't matter, does it? If if you're wanting more than that and you're wanting to be um, the captain of your own ship in dictating what you earn, then that's why a lot of people go into business. And but the reality is, again, is that we go into and start up businesses, we get our websites, we get this and that and everything else, and then we realize, okay, we're getting a bit of momentum. We get clients and all, but everything is reliant on you. And that's when you sort of look at, all right, what do I need to put in place so that someone else that I introduce into my team is able to take away some of these things. And to be able to do that, we need to be able to look at what sort of um, how does this person or these people know what to do when I'm not around? All right, my goal for for the year is to be able to go away for 4 weeks next year. Not maybe go away, but spend time with my kids during the school holidays, where and the business still runs on its own and it will still keep operating. It's not going to break. It'll still be there when I get back. And so, what are the main steps that we're taking, and we've already started to implement, and that we're trying to implement for our clients, um, is to work through the systems, what processes, what templates, what is your end-to-end flow in your business that you're aware of, and then you can also have your team support you on, so that if you need to go away and you need something done, something's still happening. So let's step back to look at some of the high level systems in most businesses. So we look at, so Sean, the reason why you're wanting to go into business, whether it's property or whichever development, to create a home for our kids to come home to and to be self-sufficient. You'll deposit the 50 cents after the coffee session. Excellent. Thank you. I'll send you my details. Or maybe just buy me a coffee when we see each other next. So what are the main systems that we need to have in place? And the core systems in sort of most service businesses would be marketing, sales, and this may be all some things that you're doing on your own at the moment. Marketing, sales, we call it sort of operations, and that might be fulfillment, whether you're um, delivering a service to clients, or mainly that's sort of delivering service to clients. And I talk sort of about client care, and then reviews and keeping reputation. So I look at it like it's the life cycle of the business. We need to be able to market ourselves. So what are we doing? No. So marketing, we've got sales, we've got the operations, which is your fulfillment, and then sort of your say reputation, and then keeping that circle. We won't really talk about sort of accounts and finance. So we know that that's an element there. I sort of bundle it up in that operations side of things. But we'd say with most services business, you'd be looking at either outsourcing that or having your accountant look at bookkeeper or accountant look after that element of it. But what we need to know to begin with is have some idea around your marketing as its core. So many business experts, when they're talking about your business and the time that you spend growing your business, 80% of it should be spent on marketing your business. A lot of small businesses spend 20% marketing their business and 80% actually executing it. And that's not saying that it's incorrect. It's the fact that we're doing so much for ourselves, by ourselves, and marketing then becomes a less of a priority because we need to be able to execute. So what do we do in terms of looking at marketing, right? What are the organic and the paid marketing strategies that we can implement in our business? I'd love to hear from everyone that's listening. What are some of the strategies of marketing that get you leads in the door? If you're and if that's working well for you, don't give me some ideas of some of the paid marketing that you're doing. Is it Google ads? Is it Facebook ads? Is it LinkedIn advertising? I'd love to know what people are doing out and about in Facebook land. More options. Here we go. Excellent. So a few people. I'm just going to share this as well on my page. So at the moment, we're in Facebook. Let's talk about Facebook ads, right? So Facebook ads, paid ads, a lot of people are able to get in leads. What I want you to be able to do, if you're sitting down with a piece of paper, I'd like you to be able to write these 4 main hubs in your business down. The one part I forgot was admin. So admin, you've got the admin, marketing, sales, operations, which is fulfillment, and sort of reputation. So start to fill these out. What are the leads that you have from your marketing perspective that are organic? Which is, when I say organic, we're not talking about pesticide free and dirt and stuff. We're talking about not having to pay for it. So this, for example, this platform of Facebook Lives, or interacting on social media, that's organic marketing, whether you like it or not. It's some form of marketing that people reach out, and we do have people that reach out and ask about our business and our services. So that's organic marketing. Do you have a Facebook page? Sean says, putting myself out there and ringing, emailing, messaging constantly, not needing Facebook ads or such yet. That's what I'm doing. So that's a perfect way of executing organic marketing. There's a lady called Sophie Allen, and all she teaches about is organic marketing and sort of Facebook marketing. And they're really good strategies there. Like it does require some level of consistency. And here's the other thing, if Facebook marketing from an organic sense, or social media marketing in general, works for you, the question you need to then ask is, do I need to be the person that does it all the time? If you have the time to, then that's fine. And you need to be able to weigh up your time with the return on investment. So say if you've got a bit of time and those relationships are really valuable for you, then keep doing what you're doing. However, if you're starting to find that you're running out of time and there are elements that you can have someone there build initial contact with potential clients or potential prospects for you, then look at what you can do to systemize that. So I'll give you an example. We have a template for Facebook and LinkedIn outreach, which I train my team to be able to do. So Stuart said, I've had Facebook ads running for a while. I had a lot of leads, but weren't really great quality, much more work than necessary. Organic leads are much better in my experience. And yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear your feedback there, Stuart. Why do you think that's the case when you say organic leads are much better in my experience? Is that because you were getting your more targeted leads, or it's the fact that you were able to build relations better via organic leads? I'd love to hear from you. Um, and admittedly, for us at the Growth Hub, I'd say 90% of um, our clients and our prospects are organic leads. We haven't spent a whole lot on Facebook ads. When we started off, we weren't particularly good at it, but we found that a lot of our leads were organic, and there was a lot more genuine connection with people that we were dealing with, and pretty much by the time that they were speaking to us, that they knew sort of what we were doing. But there is a system behind it. So I was talking about Facebook and LinkedIn. To give you an example, we have a template that is an initial outreach to people. So anyone that becomes a friend, anyone that likes our Facebook page, anyone that joins our group, there is a message to say welcome, and it needs to be genuine, right? It needs to be written in a way that it is, hi, good morning, Arnell, how are you doing? It's early where you are. I think about 7 o'clock or so. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having your morning coffee. Um, we have templates to initially start those conversations, and at this stage I like to be the one that then nurtures the conversations, but it will get to a point where I will again train the team to be able to take it up to the next level. So that's, that in itself is a very scalable process. So we might send out 100 of these messages a day. So if you're looking at your marketing and going, how many contacts do I need to be able to convert to the number of sales? Like, you need to look at how many contacts you're making with people on a daily basis. It might be 200, might be 100, might be less, it might be 10, but you need to be consistent with that so that then your conversions become more consistent as well. So that's organic marketing. Again, you can put in, once you have an idea of where your leads are coming from, whether it's organic or paid, put a system, put a process, create some templates there so that, I know you might be the only person that's doing it at the moment, but at some point you're going to be wanting someone to be able to support you with that, and you have something in place. So even with paid ads, whether it's Facebook ads or Google ads and they're coming through, like, what is the process that you have to, one, qualify? So say, for example, with Stuart said they want really great quality. How do we, even at that point with the Facebook ads and the leads coming in, how can we qualify that they go to the next level, that they become quality leads and are your ideal client? And so there are various ways to do that. So you might have a Facebook ad and then it sends out sort of a questionnaire to understand where people are and whether they're the right fit. Or if you want to be able to have, say, for example, an ebook, that in itself is a little bit of a process and a system. Like, how do you create an ebook and create then the landing page, the ad, and what happens importantly when you get all these leads? How do you go through picking up the phone? Do you have capacity? Do you have capacity to make all those calls? Because if you're not able to satisfy all those leads, then they're pretty much going to waste. And so we, for example, have appointment setters. So when a lead comes in, if they've downloaded something, if we've had a call to action, an appointment setter will ring up the prospect, check in on them. If they're qualified, they make a booking to a discovery call. Stuart says, organic leads tend to already have an understanding of what we are doing. They are generally higher qualified, again, in my experience. Yeah, I do. I agree. I tend to agree, Stuart. Paid ads, because often people, that might be the first time they've seen you. unless you're doing lots and lots of different ads and going through different parts of the client life cycle, people don't really know you that well. And unless you are, again, paid and organic ads um, are powerful together. So you need to be able to do both if you're getting good leads. But this comes down again, I guess in your business, Stuart, is like looking at, um, you know, the number of leads that you really need and that you want on a monthly, weekly, monthly basis. Do you necessarily need 100, 200 leads? And if so, do you have the infrastructure? And when I say infrastructure, the systems and the team to be able to support you to handle 100 leads. It could only well be that you need 10 leads, having some sort of concept around what it is that you do. And in which case, probably organic market, because it's a high ticket item. What you have as well is a high ticket item. So have a think about your offering and your service, and understanding your target market and their buying psychology and their buying life cycle. So going back to paid leads, like having the systems around how do I follow up with my leads, and do I have some sort of a CRM that's going to help me keep track of where these leads are in their buy cycle. So high level, that's sort of marketing. If you've got your little piece of paper written down, where are my leads coming from? What am I doing from a marketing perspective? Note it down. And then it comes down to the next level, which is sales. So I sort of touched on this briefly. I'd love to hear from anyone that's listening. Like, what, and do more, it's not what, it's more, do you know the difference between marketing and sales? Is there a difference to start off with? If there is, what is your definition of marketing and sales, or are they the same thing? So from my perspective with sales, it took me a while to really get through this, particularly when I started business. I always thought that sales and marketing were the same. I understand now that they complement each other, but they are different functions in a business. You need the marketing side to be able to channel the sales. And if you have uh, the the benefit of team that you're growing, your marketing person can sometimes be different to your salesperson. Um, the sales side of things, again, there is a bit of a process. I learned that there was a process in how to make effective sales through being coached and trained on this. And again, each and every day, I'm training and coaching myself on how to be a more effective salesperson. But I find that a lot of people have a little bit of resistance to identifying themselves as salespeople. And I had this. This was the mindset I had. I'm like, I'm not a salesperson. And when I think of salesperson, I used to think, oh, they're pushing stuff on people. They're, they're really selling things that people don't really want. I mean, is it just me, or does anyone have this sort of notion around sales with a negative connotation? Sean says, marketing, gaining interest in our services, sales, conversion from interest to cash or cash flow. I love it. Yes. Yeah, I really, really like that. It's really taking people from that journey of marketing to coming into your sales process. And that sales process, I enjoyed sales so much more when I realized that it was more a process and that you were taking people on a journey, and that sales is about problem solving. I dreaded it for such a long time to begin with, because I always thought that it was ingenuine, that you, again, like I said, pushing something that people didn't want. But when I realized that when you're a great salesperson is when you identify what someone's needs are, you're able to qualify them to make sure that they're the right, you and them are the right fit for you, and are able to to tap into why people are wanting it. There's that emotional side of sales, and then allowing them to make the decision that your service is what it is that they need. They make that decision. So it's the prospect making a decision, not you pushing it upon them, to then take them on that journey to go, yes, these are the people, or this is the person that's going to help me on my journey to achieve what my ultimate goal is. So when I start to realize that, and I put a bit of a framework and a script around it, my sales and conversions changed dramatically. I realized when I didn't, when I failed to follow my own process, my sales suffered quite dramatically as well. So it was testing, right? Um, and I didn't realize as well how important it was to have scripts. When I say scripts, it doesn't mean you have to dictate everything on the phone. Hello, it's Cheryl from the Growth Hub. How are you? Great. That's all right. What would you like? It's not like that, right? They're guidelines around how you take someone through a bit of a process. Everyone likes to be guided to a certain extent, because and then you come across as the subject matter expert in the area, that you know what you're talking about and you know how to identify the challenges that they're having in their in their situation, in their businesses, whichever that might be. So look at what your sales process is. Do you have a sales process in place? You may already have one, but you don't realize you've got one. Like, what I encourage you to do is note that down and say, when someone comes in through the door, what do? I give them a call once. I get them on a call. We have a 15-minute, discovery call. I qualify them. Is this a process that you have? If not, have a think about how you can do that, because at some point you are going to want to scale your operations. And either if you continue to do it, that's fantastic. But what happens when you're not there? Or what happens when you grow quickly and scale? Not even quickly, just grow, right? Um, is there someone else that you can leverage to be able to do that? So for example, I'm already thinking of our sales team, and I'm loving that at this point, I'm making all the mistakes and going through the process and refining our sales process so that we can get better at it. And then when I can train my sales team to be able to identify the objections, the common questions, that sort of thing, that's when we know that we can take it to the next level. So have a think about your business long term, where you want to be able to take that and what you can do on it in terms of your sales process to get something, in place. Coffee time. If you need a coffee break, have a sip. Sean says a tour guide process from interest to commitment to our service. I love it. Yeah, I love that. So Sean, if you can let us know as well, high level in the comments, what it is that you do, because each business is going to operate differently, and the customer journey is going to be quite different. So again, if you've got a high ticket item, how much, what is the experience that people need to have to be able to buy into it, right? And if you have a small ticket item but high volume, again, how much time do you need to be spending on a prospect to be able to convert? This is bulletproof coffee, by the way. Anyone do bulletproof coffee? It's butter and coffee blended up. And I only realized, because I'm from Malaysia, because I thought this was a real hippie thing, right? And I realized from Malaysia that they've been doing this for like decades. But they don't do the blending. They just put the lump of butter in and then pour coffee over it. And so it's a little bit sort of sludgy on the top, but it's so much better when it's blended. Anyhow, I digress. Marketing, sales. Next is operations. So once we've got them through the sales process, we need to onboard clients. We need to onboard clients. So what are we doing in terms of welcoming them and creating this amazing experience for them? Sean says he's into property development and deal finding whilst avoiding day job or in breaks. Uh, Property development and deal finding. So those are big ticket items, and you want someone to feel that you're the right person for them to take them on their property development journey or to find them their deals. So in terms of then the fulfillment and operations, have a think from your end, scribble on your piece of paper. All right, operationally, how am I onboarding a client and what is the client experience that they would expect, but then not only what they would expect, that you would like over and above for them. So for example, do you have a welcome email and a template to welcome them? Do you have a process where you need someone to sign up to an agreement and take a deposit? All of that can be automated to a certain extent, right? You can still customize things, but have a template that where you can customize it. If you're not using a CRM of some sort, definitely look at putting one in place if you've got some level of volume. And even if you don't, then make sure you've got templates. You can use Google. Google, if you're using Gmail, you have the benefit of using templates in your Gmail as well. So you can do that depending again on the volume of leads that you usually have. So put in place templates that you can cut and paste and modify. Also trigger. Who's here is using a tool called Zapier? Is anyone familiar with Zapier? The cool word is to zap things. Now you're zapping from one application to another. For those of you that don't know what Zapier is, Zapier, it is a software that allows applications to talk to each other. So say, for example, when we get leads in our Facebook group, they fill out their welcome questions and they leave their email, right? How does that get from Facebook welcome message membership questions to our CRM? We use Zapier. So anyone that comes in and gets approved, their name goes into a Google Sheet, and then it gets zapped off to our CRM where it ends up, and then we can continue conversations with them. So many tools there that you can use to really automate and streamline any process that you want. I'd say most processes can be streamlined. We're still discovering the amazing things that Zapier do, but it's also making sure that you have someone there that's going to be able to help you do that as well. Because often, if you're IT illiterate like I am, it takes days and weeks to be able to make one zap, whereas we've got a CRM guy who is able to do that for us. So big wins there. So operations, onboarding, and then it's the execution. How are you executing your service to people? And here we've got the whole question around what are the high and low value tasks in that execution that you need to be the one responsible for, right? And we've got a whole other session on high and low value tasks that you can tune into in another one of our sessions, but we'll keep going through that. Let's just focus on the low value tasks that you can outsource, right? So that could be research, that could be administrative backend things like setting up client files. It's also part of the welcome email, putting reports together for the clients. Like, you need to ask yourself where in this process of the operation and the fulfillment that you need to be the one that is involved because you are providing the highest value in that. Note that down. Note that down. What are my high value tasks? What are my low value tasks? If they're low value tasks that are repeatable, low value tasks which I can teach someone once. It might take 5 minutes, take 10, half an hour to start off with, but they can take over from me. What are they? Pop them down. And that's your operations side of things. And then once you've executed and you delivered to your client and they're happy, you then have your reputational side, which is things like testimonials. It's things like customer care, ongoing customer care, and outreach. Sending presents, sending them links to give you Google reviews or Facebook reviews. Again, you can automate this process, but it's knowing that that process is there and that you have some sort of high level system in place. So that's sort of real, again, high level of what most services business in terms of systems can put in place. And then once you realize you have that, how you can leverage the power of a team to be able to train them on each of these levels to be able to assist you and take a whole chunk of tasks and functions off you to focus on your main things. So hopefully that was never heard of it. Zapier. I'm gonna pop it in the Zapier. And it's a term now. Like if you want to zap things, that means like that's a technical term, zap. To zap Google Docs to your CRM, to zap Google Docs to Excel, or zap Gmail to this. I wish I could automate teaching my wife. She's very stubborn. Sorry, can't help you there. My husband would say the same as well. So we're still working on that. But yeah, I'd love to hear like from your experience what you're doing in your business to systemize, and how are you going through that process? Are you finding that do you have time to do it? Are you struggling to get together, or do you not really have any systems and want some help with it? Let me know 1, 2, 3 where you're at with your systems. And if you have any questions, like drop me a PM. Would love to be able to guide you, have a chat with you, or even if you want to have a discovery call to see what we're helping our clients with systems, I'll pop it in the comments section below. And that's all, folks. Thanks for joining me for Virtual Coffee. Systems and team, focus on the good as we do every day. Love to have you all here with me, and thanks for everyone and your questions. Have a fantastic end of the week, and I'll see you all next week. Ciao. Bye.